Welcome to Deep Dive Film School. I'm Adam Sherlock.
And I'm Adam Palter.
And if you like what you see/hear, please like and subscribe. You can find us on all the spaces and places that people what?
Find good media. That's right. Our most popular platforms are Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. So please join us there if you like what you see. All right, we're going to continue our Chamber Piece Festival. We're going to do 2019's The Lighthouse.
Yes.
Written and directed by Mr. Robert Eggers, the man of The Witch. He did The Northman and recently Nosferatu.
And this was like,
this was his second movie.
You had The Witch, and so everybody's like,
monumental.
What's he going to do, right?
Next,
and then he did The Lighthouse, and
Have you ever seen this?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I thought so.
I've seen this lots of times.
I can see it's right down your alley.
I think I've watched this more than I've watched The Witch.
Do you like it more than The Witch?
It's
very different.
I kind of like it more than The Witch, only because I've always been such a fan of this aesthetic. Like, I really love...
It's off the charts here.
Yeah, and just this daguerreotype, like the aspect ratio, the black and white.
Same, I wrote that down, 4:3 aspects.
Yeah, like, this maritime, like, turn of the century thing.
Again, using natural lighting, not using any artificial lighting like we're using today. It just gives it this weird feel.
No, wait a minute. That's not true.
It isn't?
No. In fact, a lot of it is natural lighting outside. Inside,
it's candle lights and stuff like that's what.
But they blew out the lighting. Yeah, there was something about.
I thought because he did it in The Witch.
Yeah, and that is all natural light.
So the way that this looks, and it's very obvious that some of these, at least it seems very obvious that some of these scenes are lit by candlelight or whatever sunlight's coming in, or whatever.
I think it had something to do with the film stock.
Okay.
It's something about needing to saturate the film stock to give it that look. Because there was, and it's interesting too, because I know that the studio even was like, please just film digitally in color and then you can treat it to make it black and white. Nope. And of course he was like, no, right? But they wanted that just for their own insurance, like, because they're like, we've got these two huge stars.
Sure.
We've got this new up and coming director. What if later we change our mind? And he was basically like, no, I'm not going to change my mind. Because I think one of the things that's interesting about Eggers as a director is that with both The Witch and this, and it sounds like, at least, I know this is true of Nosferatu, I'm not sure about The Northman, but in interviews, he was like, I came up with the aesthetic first before I had a story. Like, I knew, like with The Witch, he knew he wanted to do, New England puritanical. He knew he wanted it to be all natural light. He knew he wanted it to be shots of the forest. And he knew that he wanted to use that really tangled up English dialect, right?
Yeah.
And then here he knew it was going to be black and white. He knew he wanted to use this particular kind of film stock. He knew he wanted the aspect ratio to be claustrophobic and squished. And he knew that he wanted it to be on the late, the 1800s maritime.
Yeah, I mean, and the reason we're spending so much time on the look and the feel is it's such a big part of this.
It's movie, a huge part of it,
right? Because one, it just looks absolutely genius. Two, he knows how to create a shot, man.
Oh man!
Holy cow! There's some beautiful things from the staircase to just the lighthouse itself and where he's putting the camera. And we didn't really talk about this when we talked about Misery, but the weird tension that develops in these chamber piece movies, you're trapped or helpless or something, right? And it's just kind of a gift for a movie scenario and something weird and wild like this, which this is very weird and wild, but I love it.
Oh yeah. Well, I totally agree. And as you were saying that, I started thinking about it and I was like, well, in Misery, we had one character who was being trapped by the other. Here, this is
still helpless.
Oh yeah. But I think here it has more of this like...
Well, just an island itself, you're trapped,
That's
right?
exactly it. Well, and I think you're also trapped by the story.
Sure.
Because you're sort of like... I'm thinking of something like the Blair Witch Project, where it's like you're trapped by this... You are in a fable, right? You're in a fable that is going to end poorly.
Sure.
And you're both there.
I mean, think of Scorsese's Shutter Island. I think there's some similarities a little bit to what's going on here, I think, to some degree. And so, it's just naturally a Hitchcockian place or even Bergman type place to be trapped.
Yep. And Bergman definitely, I think, was an influence here. I also think
sure.
that, he talks a lot about Herman Melville with the story of Moby Dick.
Interesting.
Robert Louis Stevenson.
Moby Dick makes sense, actually.
Yeah, totally. Well, and I think that H.P. Lovecraft, I think all of these authors whose work feels very much like soaked in that sort of like seawater sort of lonely feeling.
Yeah, yeah.
And Rime of the Ancient Mariner. I mean, there's so much in legend here. Obviously, there's a lot of mythology, right? There's so much Greek mythology here. Poseidon, I think the idea Prometheus, right? The fire of
Artemis,
Prometheus,
yeah.
right? And so like all of those like layers and layers and layers does make you go, are we in hell? Are we in hell when this starts?
What's real, what's not?
Yep.
At a certain point, you're definitely wondering. And we're what probably 10 minutes, 5 minutes into this, and we haven't even talked about the performances here of Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson. Robert Pattinson is not just the dude from Twilight.
God, no.
He is a spectacular actor.
Yep.
And not just this, Good Times, a variety of things that he's done that are completely, I don't know. When you get labeled something like that, I'm sure there's some actor mindset, to be, team, what was it in Twilight? I forgot.
Edward.
Team Edward. Yeah. If you were, you get billed as that, you want to some actors want to just be like, I want to go completely in a different direction. Daniel Radcliffe did it in
he got naked with a horse.
That's right. So he is, Willem Dafoe is kind of, he's in his own category. He's, I think, in the category of like a Nick Cage, where you're just like, whatever you do is amazing.
Even if you've chosen poorly, you do something amazing.
But and you're always 100% sold in. I wouldn't, maybe not always, but sometimes.
Most of the time.
But he's generational actor for us, right? Like just one to remember.
Well, and I think that also
so good here.
It's so great seeing that like this movie birthed this friendship between him and Eggers, where then he was in he's been in everything else. Like he played, his role in Nosferatu is great. His role in The Northman was great.
He's not afraid to get fucking weird either. We've seen
or
that.
Naked.
Or naked. Yeah, Lars von Trier. Yeah, he like, yeah.
Well, and I think that, and to go back to what you said about Robert Pattinson, I totally agree. And I think he is doing his version. And I know I'm not the only one to have said this, but I was like, the whole time in this movie, I was like, what is it? Like, what is this role? And it is kind of like a young Daniel Plainview. It's like this seething, angry, indignant character that's just like hates this spot in life that he's in, right?
Sure. Yeah.
And
interesting.
It does give me that like There Will Be Blood kind of a vibe to it.
Interesting.
In these moments,
I hadn't thought of that, but I could see it for sure.
With your farts, it's just
farts.
Like it's
the
so
best.
But it's just this phenomenal.
Your goddamn farts.
And he just has these like bug eyes, like it's so good, man. And
no, he's intense, and they must have had some kind of facial hair coordinator on set.
It's incredible
because this mustache and his beard is just wow.
It's amazing.
Excellent
it's
stuff.
Amazing.
Epic.
Well, I think that was, and again, to go back to the aesthetic, it was another thing that Eggers said in an interview is he was like, I was thinking as much about the sea foam and the seagull shit as I was thinking about the bolt knit sweaters and the facial hair. Mm-hmm. He's like, I knew exactly what I wanted it to look like on screen. And when I see it, that's why I think I put this movie so high, just in the regard of like it being so enjoyable to me. I mean, I've always been a huge Lovecraft fan. You know that. Like that's a huge part of my cultural zeitgeist.
He also loves using animals as maybe
symbolic sort of representation.
Not only that, but like just like Black Phillip was in The Witch, the seagulls are here.
Oh my God, yes.
And so
that's such a great thing. I hadn't even really thought about.
A lot of similarities, and I'm trying to think if that happens in Northman or not. But regardless, I haven't seen the Northman in a minute. So one thing I mean,
there's rats. He does that with rats in Nosferatu.
Yeah, that's true.
When they're on the ship.
Yep, you're right.
That's really interesting.
So one thing that is so important in a small movie like this, because this is a pretty small movie, although he makes it look grand and epic.
Two and a half characters.
Yeah, basically. But something that's so important from an aspect perspective is sound, right?
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And so he did such a beautiful job here. You have that foghorn constantly going in the back, although we never see a fucking boat.
No.
We don't see nothing other than the boat they arrive on.
Yeah, that's it. That's the only time that we've seen anything.
The sound is so important here, and they do a lot of background work, and man, it is wonderful. Just listening to the waves crashing,
and the sound of those seagulls. Yeah.
But it's just like at a point that foghorn is like a warning sign, right?
Well, it's like it is its own like banshee like tome of doom, right? It is this like droning, overbearing sound that keeps showing back up, and you're like, you can't even like tell like where it's coming from. It feels like it's coming from all around. And then another trope that we know that Eggers loves is he loves this knotted together, almost indecipherable language, right? The terms that, these almost Shakespearean levels of language, especially that are coming from Defoe's character, but that are just like,
its own
ye scurvy dogs, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it is so like this particular kind of I don't know, it's elemental, and it feels like it's wrapping you up in this own mythology on top of what it looks like, right?
For sure.
Much in the same way that the witch did.
To sea. It's a pirate language almost.
Yeah. It's this otherworldly language. And I guess that's why I keep coming back to like, are they in purgatory? Like, is any of this even real?
Yes. And, I mean, I still don't know. I don't need to know. I think it's wonderful, wonderfully executed. And the performances are so good. Like, I don't care how weird it gets, right?
Well, and let's get weird.
Yeah,
and not that this is weird, like inherently weird, but let's talk about a little bit of homoerotic undertones that are happening in this movie. There is a scene that was cut.
Oh, yeah?
From this film.
I mean, they get pretty close to kissing.
There's a scene that was cut from this film that was the lighthouse sideways dissolving into an erect penis that was supposed to be Winslow's penis. And it ended up getting cut, and I think Eggers was like...
We get to see the Defoe?
It's a little on the nose. And I'm like, is it though? Because it's pretty obvious that these two men are fighting, drinking, almost kissing, dancing together, holding each other. May or may not. There may not be daddy issues also going on, or father-son kind of issues.
Even if it's two different people.
And then there is a giant prick shooting up to the sky on the one little piece of land that they're all stuck on. And the only female character that we meet for half a second
is
screaming and is not human. It's an erect penis dissolved from the actual lighthouse itself. May have been a little too on the nose. Although I do love this quote from Eggers where he said, the film's subtext was influenced by Sigmund Freud, and he hoped that it's a movie where both Jung and Freud would be furiously eating their popcorn. And you're like, yeah, of course. Like, that's very much what's happening here, right? Like, the hole in the bed that has like the little...
Plus, he's his boss to some degree, right? So there's a power struggle.
There's a power dynamic there.
He's dragging this oil up these stairs, and I'm like, that is a daunting ass task.
Yeah.
Dude. And
then he sees him and he's masturbating to the light, and so he gets some of it on him. Right? I mean, he literally comes through the grate onto him. I mean, it's pretty. I mean, it's pretty overt, the homoerotic undertones happening here, and just the pent up rage / aggression / sexual repression. And then when they're like, we're trapped here, let's get into the provisions. All that's in it is liquor. When they dig it up, and all that's in there is liquor, and you're like, oh, this isn't going to end well. Like, this is probably going to get worse.
It's going to get way weirder.
Yeah, it's going to get way weirder.
Does.
Yeah.
But again, wonderfully weird.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, at a point, the waves, the drinking, and the tension have gotten out of hand.
Yeah.
Right. Like all of these things together are, and at near the end of the movie, Defoe's character. I mean, they're both Thomas. Not Winslow.
Yes.
But Thomas. So again, makes you question: are they the same person or not? Is this what exactly is going on here? Because we do see, some weird perspectives of Willem Dafoe turning into
Poseidon,
a variety of things, like a Davy Jones kind of thing.
Yep.
What is the other thing I'm thinking of? He's there naked with with his eyes flashed.
So, and that is a direct take, a direct homage to an engraving drawing by Sasha Schneider called Hypnosis.
Of course, yeah. Who doesn't know that?
Well, I actually thought it was something else. I thought it was something from William Blake, because it looks a lot like a William Blake painting, but it's actually Sasha Schneider. But I did want to say this, going to the Thomas thing, a brief interlude, if you'll indulge me.
I will.
They refer to this as the Smalls Lighthouse tragedy. Thomas Howell, this is true. This is in 1801. Thomas Howell and Thomas Griffin, the two-person team that managed the Smalls Lighthouse, were publicly known to quarrel. When Griffin's died in a freak accident, Howell feared that if he discarded the body into the sea, authorities might accuse him of murder. As Griffith's body began to decompose, Howell built a makeshift coffin for the corpse and lashed it to an outside shelf. Stiff winds blew the box apart, and the body's arm fell within view of the hut's window. As the wind would blow, gusts would catch the arm and move it in a way that made the appendage appear to be beckoning to the other Thomas. In spite of his former partner's decaying corpse and working the lighthouse alone, Howell was able to keep the house's lamp lit. When Howell was finally relieved of duty, the impact of the situation was so emotionally taxing that his friends did not recognize him. As a result, the government body changed the lighthouse policy to make lighthouse team rosters of 3 people. So this is part of the inspiration for the lighthouse, was this story of the Smalls Lighthouse tragedy.
Interesting.
So this is part of why he named them both Thomas.
That's hilarious.
I think the fact that the one guy was he didn't kill the other guy, but the other guy's corpse was out there and the wind was making it look like he was beckoning him, like, you just go, oh, okay, I can see how this is a good inspiration for the story that became the Lighthouse.
So, yes, that's a fantastic interlude. I love it. So, hey,
I mean,
to each his own.
I'm surprised that scene didn't make it in the movie.
That would be funny. It's at Lighthouse 2.
Yeah. They may pay you enough money to do a sequel, right?
Yeah, that's true. They probably will. To get back to the movie itself, though, the Willem Dafoe's character, essentially, his Thomas blames him for killing a seagull. Yep. And that's when things started to go north, right?
Well, and he's also really vague about what happened to his last assistant.
Yes.
Right?
And so we find the book.
And he says, like, oh, well, my last assistant went mad. He thought that the devil's light was in the tower. And you're like, that's already happening to your new assistant, right? And then it is worth noting that the seagull that Thomas, the younger, as we know him as Winslow before we find out that he's using a fake name, Winslow kills the seabird, and the seabird only has...
Brutally, too.
Oh, yeah, it's kind of amazing.
Yeah.
And it only has one eye, right? And later, the one-eyed seagull
Classic pirate
shows up again, right?
Oh, yeah.
Which is so apparently also Max Eggers, his brother who co-wrote this with him, was inspired by a short story that was never even actually made into a story by Edgar Allan Poe, called The Lighthouse. Didn't have any of this in its plot. It was just very much about, like, oh, the guy goes to the island and there's a lighthouse. But I think the idea of the seagull coming back and that he didn't kill it and it's the same one that only has one eye is so Edgar Allan Poe. right? I mean, that's so classically like
When it gets
Poe.
its revenge.
And then also later, I'm hopping around a little bit, but when Winslow pulls up the fishing cage, the fishing net, there has in it what we're assumed to believe is the head of his first
The
assistant,
last guy, yeah.
who was missing an eye.
No, he was, I think.
No, he's missing one. He's missing one.
Yeah.
So is that the spirit of the assistant that's in the seagull that he then kills, dooming himself to being killed on the island? If we're going like full mythology here.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense, especially after you told that last story of body parts hanging off cliffs.
Totally. Yeah.
Could
make
get
sense.
washed up in the
it could be in the crab trap,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah. I love that. Well, and I love that we are pontificating on all these different things of what this could be, of all the different symbolism in it, of all these different pieces, and the movie does such a lovely job of just letting go of that steering wheel, and being like, either you're in this or you're not, right? And that's also considering all of the moments in this movie that are really, really funny.
I think
there's a lot of funny stuff in this movie.
There absolutely is. The goddamn farting part,
so
especially.
good, yeah.
But no, absolutely. I think he does. I think all of his movies you have to choose at some point, right?
Are you in or out?
Yeah. You know, I mean, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think he kind of wants you to have an experience, and if you're not on the ride for that experience. He's a classically trained director, I think.
He really is.
And we don't have a lot of those these days. That's why I appreciate him so much. That's why I think The Witch is one of the best horror movies of this 21st century. It's fantastic.
His visions are very uncompromising, and I think that that's a rare thing to see
it's like a
in
Kubrick
directors
would do,
nowadays.
right? Like he's like, I know what I want.
Yeah,
give it to me.
This is what it's going to be like.
So
well, and apparently,
I wouldn't necessarily call him a Kubrick, but the mindset is there.
Well, and I think that was when Defoe. I read that when he first was in talks to be in this movie, like Willem Dafoe was a little turned off at the approach to begin with, because he was like, I've never really worked with a direct, which you think about this and you're like,
yes, you have.
Well, right. But he goes, I've never really worked with a director that was this like, here's how it's going to go. And he was like, really? Like, and then once he worked with him, he was like, oh shit, I love this. And that's why they've made 3 movies together.
Yeah.
But I think, you could picture like with a guy that's younger, that only has 1 movie under his belt, to be like
less confident.
Yeah. You're like, why are you?
It's true. I saw The Witch at Sundance when it came out, and someone asked him about why is The Witch some old, ugly, naked lady? And he's like, he got pissed at the person. He's like, why does that even matter? And like he had this strong vision. He's like, this is how I always wanted her to look.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with being naked or old. This is how I wanted
That's what The Witch looks like, God damn it.
And exactly. And it's uncompromised. And it's also, I had never seen a witch portrayed like that before.
No, it's incredible. Well, in the same way that you've never seen a mermaid be portrayed as the one is here. Like so true. The siren thing is so scary. There's so many moments in this movie. People like to be like, oh, well, it's not really that scary. And I'm like,
I don't even know if I would call it a horror movie necessarily. Maybe a little bit, but it's more of a psychological thriller.
So I would consider it a horror movie, but the things that I find horrifying in it are the lapses in reality. I think the fact that he sees the siren,
but that's again psychological.
And then he comes back and he's all flummoxed, and then it's like, well, the storm must have pushed the ferry out that's going to take us back, but it should be here tomorrow. And then he's like, Wake is like, that was weeks ago. And there's nothing to indicate that more time has passed. Like, we're with Winslow. We're like, it was yesterday. Like, it was yesterday that they were supposed to show up and they didn't show up. Right. And immediately when Wake is like, it's been weeks. And then he continues to do it where he's like, no, you tried to attack me with the axe. That to me is scarier than Freddy Krueger will ever be. Like, that is horror
again,
to me.
Psychological
Like, it is. And but it's also so effective to me because it
100%.
means that you're getting unmoored from reality.
I mean, we talk about this all the time. It's what you don't see, right?
Yeah.
It's whatever your brain comes up with is way scarier than what you can show me.
Yep.
So yeah, you don't have to show me him as an octopus.
Yeah. Although it's also effective when we do see the octopus tentacles in
Yes.
random spots. Like it's very, again, very Lovecraftian, very something larger than you, something looming in the deep.
This seems like it could be like a Herzog movie, though. Like, and maybe it's Willem's Klaus Kinski performance here.
It's very Klaus Kinski.
I've never giving me Klaus Kinski vibes a little bit.
It's so Klaus Kinski. That's fantastic. I love that. I love that. Yeah, I agree, and I think there is something about this idea of the wikis, right?
Yeah, and I love that we can't trust anyone. That's always fun. And like I said, this just being trapped where we are. There's so many metaphors, and there's so much self-reflection. And he admits at one point that he actually watched a man die and didn't help him.
Now he's using his name. I mean, this is it, right? Is that this is why I keep going to this like Promethean like purgatory thing, is because I'm like, from the jump, why are you here? What are you running from? Right? Mm-hmm. He's a man with a mystery in his backstory, right? And so,
I mean, they both are, to be honest.
They both are, but this idea, and what brought you here to this accursed rock does feel like, and there's a lot of online theories.
Why'd you spill your beans?
Why'd you spill the beans? Right. Well, and there's a lot of online theories that Willem Dafoe's character is the ferryman known as Sharon that takes the person to Hades, right? Like there is, and that he even calls it out. At one point he tells Winslow, because of what you've done, you've cursed yourself and your guts are going to be splayed across the rocks, to be picked up by the seabirds, which is what happens at the end of this movie. Like
after
quite literally, quite
literally,
because he looks into the flame. He looks into the Promethean flame, and it curses him, right? And he falls, and it's a literal falling from the heavens into hell, right?
Damn those stairs!
I know, man. It is
so beautiful looking, though. Some of those shots of the stairs just.
Everything about it. I love the.
It really is.
I love the like Rorschach looking element of just the black and white, where it's almost like you're looking at ink blots of things. Like, it's just a gorgeous film.
He's an artist.
He really is, and this, in a lot of ways, I know this movie isn't for everybody. I totally get that.
Yeah,
but to me, for somebody who loves that, like, it was just like so many of the references that he was making, whether it was Andrew Blake or if it was somebody a painter like Odd Nerdrum, like it's so my shit.
I didn't even know half of those, and I still enjoyed the hell. I knew there's some obvious ones, and I knew some of what you're talking about, especially the religious side of things.
Yeah.
And just the metaphors throughout. But half of those things you're talking about, I didn't know about, and I was still goddamn enjoyable.
Yeah.
And the fact that you can take those things even more away and the mythology behind all of it.
Yeah.
That's fascinating. That's what, that's what art's supposed to do. It's supposed to make you think and, think about yourself and what you would do,
and that you can tell, and I know that, like, okay, whatever, Northman is a 3 times removed original story that Hamlet was also based on. Nosferatu is the knockoff
Classic
story of Dracula. Like we get that those are these tomes, but also like The Lighthouse is both that mythological story, definitely derivative or attributed to things like Lovecraft or Melville or Rime of the Ancient Mariner, and then at the same time, like, wholly unique, even though it's an old story, right? And it's like, to me, I'm like, and there still are moments that feel like homages to things like The Shining or Rosemary's Baby, or
100%.
You know what I mean? Just like how The Witch was. Like, we've talked about this, where it's like, oh, there's these moments where you're like, he's a lover of like more contemporary horror, even though he's doing these like super, super period pieces. Yeah, it's just so damn good. I love it.
I remember really liking this movie the first time I saw it. I fucking love this movie now. It's rewatching it. Like, I'm really glad we had this opportunity to rewatch it, because It is wonderful, and
It's
I do
so
love
weirdly
his,
cozy, isn't it? Like there's something that's
Kinda.
cozy to me about it, even though it's gross. Like
It is, but honestly, it's only really gets gross to the last half of the movie,
Yeah.
and that's again more psychological and plays with your head a little bit. But no, fantastic movie. The performances are just A+ all around, and his direction, like even the way the ocean looks, you're like, I've never seen that like that.
or when he opens the cistern and he
Mhm.
puts the lye in it and spins it around, and all of a sudden the music's like whoa, and it like zooms in on the stuff inside of the
Uh-huh.
cistern, and I was like, yeah, man, like, okay, it's horrible that we lost David Lynch, but there are weird directors out there doing weird rad
You're right.
shit.
Yeah, just him hanging and painting the side of the lighthouse.
And
is
then when he
just such a
falls, the
unique,
way it looks,
yeah,
God,
such
it's
a unique looking
yeah,
feel. It's
just fantastic, man.
love it, love it, love it. Well, thank you for joining us. We'll continue our Chamber Piece Festival. I think our next one is going to be Rope, Mr. Alfred Hitchcock from, I think, the 1940s. So we are going to do that next. And yeah, so join us there. We'll have that one scene next week. We'll figure out what that is. But yeah, please like and subscribe. Join us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube if you like what you see. And we'll see you next week.
Bye, you guys.
Thanks.